Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint by Sing Shong. Chapter 30. Landlord. Part 4. After the Dakibi disappeared, dozens of casualties appeared on the platform of Line 3. Currently, there was only one room on the Line 3 platform. There was no one strong here, so the weak didn't back down and attacked each other. Die. Die. There are 30 minutes before the third scenario is activated. As pandemonium occurred around me, I was quietly reading Ways of Survival. Perhaps today's scenario would flow as I thought. In order to survive, I couldn't miss a single word. What are you doing now? Along with Baihyung's words, I could hear the messages of the constellations. The constellation Prisoner of the Golden Headband is wondering what you are doing. I reflexively turned off my smartphone. There was something I hadn't thought of until now. Why didn't the constellations respond when I read Ways of Survival? In the original Ways of Survival, the constellations discovered that Yu Jonghyuk was a regressor and raised questions about fairness. It was normal for them to say something about the text I was reading. What are you doing right now with a blank notepad? All the constellations are going crazy with frustration because of you. Blank notepad? I turned on the smartphone again. Ways of Destruction appeared on the screen. Is this what you are referring to? Yes. What are you going to do with that notepad? You will die if you stay still. I believed in a guy like this and signed a contract. I got goosebumps. The Dakibi couldn't read this text. If even the Dakibis, which managed the system, couldn't read it, then the constellations were the same. Then the writer who gave me the text, what type of existence was he? Quack! The last scream rang out. Finally, the owner of the room on platform line 3 was determined. Green zone 1 of 1. Don't come any closer. A boy was pointing a knife at me. Surprisingly, the winner was the boy who guided us earlier. I still didn't know his name. Don't worry, I won't take your room. I spoke in order to reassure the boy. The moment I had this thought. Really? You are quite relaxed, Ajusi. Do you want to die? I didn't need to look back to see who was talking. It looks like you are quite free. Nobody touches my room. I will send everyone who touches it to hell. Lee Jai-hai twirled a deep blue blade round and round. In regards to specs, there was no one who could match Lee Jai-hai apart from Yu Jonghyuk or people from the Landlord Alliance. Lee Jai-hai watched me carefully and opened her mouth. I don't want a Juicy to die. You were quite impressive against Master earlier. Don't worry, I won't die. It won't die even if I don't find a room. It was true. I wouldn't necessarily die if I couldn't find a room. There was an impossible man in this station who proved this. It was only 3 days ago. Lee Jai-hai's eyes narrowed. Ajusi, do you know what you are saying right now? Yes. Ajusi, are you strong? As strong as Master? Then Yu Jonghyuk appeared behind Lee Jai-hai. Stop and go back to your room. Yup. Master. Lee Jai-hai obediently left and Yu Jonghyuk turned towards me. Are you going to fight the monsters? I shrugged. You will die. Your 4 companions as well. That remains to be seen. There was an unknown emotion in Yu Jonghyuk's eyes as he glanced at me and left. I didn't use Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. It wasn't always possible to express emotions with words. There are 20 minutes before the third scenario is activated. There was the sound of people coming down the stairs. Lee Hyunsung, Lee Gilyung, and Yu Sanga, looking at their dark expressions, the result was as I expected. Yu Sanga opened her mouth with a gloomy expression. Room, there were none. It is okay. Rather, where is Hewan SSI? She is trying to negotiate upstairs. At these words, Yong Hewan jumped down with a terrible scream. One night is 2,000 coins? Are they joking right now? I am really going to hit them. The agitated Jung Hee-won snorted and said. Doc Jessi. Do you know what is happening upstairs? No, they suddenly raised the taxes, right? You already know? It was predictable. The tenants would die if they couldn't get a room in 20 minutes. It was no wonder that the owners would take the initiative to raise the taxes. Did Doc Jessi find anything? No, I didn't. I examined their faces one by one. In the end, the time to choose had come. I have two ways. The eyes of the party members shone at these words. But my methods would probably betray their expectations. The first way is easy for all of us to live. Jung Hee-won's eyes narrowed. Usually it is the second method. What is the other one? The second method is very difficult. It is likely that some of us will die. That can't happen. Then I will choose the first way. What do the others think? Lee Hyun-sung responded first. The first method will be good if everyone can live. Lee Gil-young nodded. Only Yu Sang-da hesitated. Can I hear what it is? I nodded and lead them up the stairs to transit line 4. This is the first method. The party members looked at where I pointed. There was a group of 5 men and women shaking. Green zone 5 of 5. The room they occupy has exactly 5 spaces. But their individual abilities isn't that high. Honestly, if the 5 of us... Wait, Doc Jessi. Yes, kill them and take their room. Their trembling increased at my calm voice. Jung Hee-won made a deeply wounded expression. Who doesn't know about this method? If Hyung says so, I can do it. Lee Gil-young spoke first. I'm not afraid. I will do it. No, Gil-young. Yu Sang-da grabbed Lee Gil-young's shoulder. I deliberately looked uncaring. They would have also killed someone to take that room. Honestly, we can't overcome future scenarios if we can't do this. Doc Jessi. Jung Hee-won interrupted. I killed people at Gumho Station. I killed because I wanted to, and I don't regret it. But... Jung Hee-won had a pained expression on her face. Just because I am a murderer doesn't mean I want to keep killing. I don't want to be a monster. Doc Jessi, I would like to know about the second method. I closed my eyes for a moment at Lee Hyun-sung's words. I understand your thoughts. Yes, this was enough. Let's go the second way. The expressions of the party members seemed to brighten. In fact, I was going to use the second method from the beginning. Killing was an easy way to survive, but I could never attract the attention of the constellations if I chose the easy method. However, the second method required considerable determination. It wasn't just me but everyone. Thus, I needed to check their determination. I had to know what these people were really thinking. Jung Hee-won laughed. I thought so. Why are you talking when you were going to go with the second way? I wasn't trying to test you. Whatever choice you made, I would have respected it. I stroked Lee Gil-young's head, who was looking up at me with uneasy eyes. Yu Sang-da sighed and opened her mouth. Doc Jessi is really spiteful. I'm sorry, I'm not a good person. What is the second method? There is no need to kill anybody with this method. But it is very difficult. At my heavy tone, the expressions of the party members became determined. If you choose the second method, please unconditionally follow my instructions. Please trust me, even if it doesn't make sense. If one person doesn't trust me, we will all die. Someone gulped. The party members nodded almost simultaneously. Lee Hyun-sung said, I believe in Doc Jessi. I have survived up to here because of Doc Jessi. There are 5 minutes before the third scenario is activated. Then follow me. I moved with the party members along railway line 3. We passed through the broken screen door and stood at the entrance of the tunnel leading to Yulgiro 3. Inside the dark tunnel, I saw a glowing red zone. Perhaps the monsters would be created over there. They would sweep over line 3 and go up each floor towards the ground. Lee Hyansung asked nervously. Then are we fighting the monsters here? No, we aren't fighting. If we fight here, then we will die. It wasn't possible to fight against the terrifying monsters and survive until dawn without the green zone. This time, Yong Hee-won asked. Then will we run towards the Dongdae area? That won't work. Once the scenario is activated, we will automatically die if we leave Chunmuro. Then, this operation needs to be shared. Lee Hyansung SSI, Yusenga SSI, and Yong Hee-won SSI. Once the monsters appear, run straight in the direction they are coming from. Huh? Understood? Just run towards them. Just before you encounter them, be sure to look at the left wall. Then you will know that I mean. The people didn't understand my words, but there was no time to explain to them. Just trust me, or you will die. Don't forget to look at the left wall. I understand, Dr. SSI. Yusenga seemed to understand what I meant and answered first. I am telling you in person. You must run after the monster appears. I picked up a stone and threw it towards the tunnel. Then stone sparked as it hit something and fell. Lee Hyansung and Yong Hee-won nodded as if they understood. What about Dr. SSI? I'll find another way with Gil Young. This method couldn't be used unless my party members believed in me. Who would go against common sense and commit a suicide attack by rushing towards the monsters? The only thing left was their determination. The third main scenario is enabled. The barrier that was blocking the tunnel to Yulgiro 3 disappeared. Run! The 3 people started running the moment I called out. Grr! The monsters started to be created in the red zone. It was mainly the grade 9 ground rats. Then the middle ranks were filled with the intermediate grade 9 underground species, the Grawl. Kuo! A monster with a black mane that was in the shape of a bear. The sharp horns on their foreheads was threatening. One was relatively easy to deal with. The problem was the number. The crowded columns was already not suitable to be called a group. We would die if we hit that wave. The moment Lee Hyansung encountered the first Grawl, I shouted. Now! Yusenga found it first. Green tiles shimmering on the wall. Ah! The enlightenment was instant. The moment Yusenga's hand touched the wall, it emitted a bright light. Green zone 1/3. The agile Yong Hee-won immediately touched the wall behind her. Green zone 2/3. However, Lee Hyansung missed the timing. It was because the ground rats clung to Lee Hyansung's shield. Hyansung SSI. Catch it! Lee Hyansung grabbed the thread that Yusenga threw him. Thanks to the strength of the 2 women, Lee Hyansung flew through the air and reached the wall. Green zone 3/3, good. Grr. The monsters stared at them, but once they entered the green zones, the monsters couldn't attack. Dr. SSI. Yusenga called out to me, but there was no time to look back. I was already running with Lee Gil-young on my back. In the third main scenario, there are several hidden green zones. This is activated on a specific wall, and the green zones on the wall won't appear until after the scenario starts. If you think about it, humans were the ones who thought of it as the concept of a room. In Ways of Survival, Yu Jong-hyuk went through numerous regressions and found some secret green zones in Chunmuro. On the platform of line 3, there were 2 such green zones. Key it. A few ground rats chasing after me bit me in the thigh. The blow wasn't big because of my high strength, but these small things could accumulate. Koak. Lee Gil-young hit a few ground rats with a blunt weapon from his position on my back. but there were too many of them. In addition, the growl were fast. A dozen meters away, the boy was looking at me with terrified eyes. Green zone 1 of 1. It was cowardly, but I was tempted to take the easy road for a second. Ha 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 ha. This situation is fun. Then, like yesterday, should there be a penalty? A Dakibi spoke, followed by the system messages. A scenario penalty has been added. Some existing green zones will be disabled. And no. Whack, aak. Screams rang through Chum Eurostation. The closest scream came from the boy. Hwajajijik. Aak. As soon as the green zone disappeared, the boy's small body was shredded by the ground rats. Thanks to the boy's body buying time, I was able to run into the passage. However, the monsters that came from beyond the broken screen door blocked the path. I hid Lee Gilliam behind me and pulled out Unbroken Faith. The blade of white pure star energy quickly pushed back the incoming monsters. But the numbers didn't go down at all. The person who fought with these monsters until sunrise, Yu Jonghyuk, was a monster. I wasn't sure it was possible for me, even if I changed all my coins to stats. At this moment, Lee Gilyoung spoke. Hyung, you know. Don't talk now. I'm busy. You can just leave me here. What? I really don't understand it. Why are you helping me, Hyunsung Hyung and the Nunas? If you are alone, you would be able to survive better. He could calmly speak such words before his death. Maybe this kid's mind was already dead. Yes, you are right. Another ground rat fell to the ground with its head cut off. It is comfortable to live alone, eat alone, and survive alone. But why was I acting this way? If anyone asked me, I couldn't exactly explain. But I could say one thing with certainty. I know one novel that developed in such a way, and was ruined. Huh? I thought it every time, but I wasn't a protagonist. I wouldn't be a hero or a savior. But Lee Gilyoung's eyes were shaking. I lifted him onto my back again and said, "Hold on tight. I wouldn't let Lee Gilyoung die. At least, not today." Chapter 31. Landlord. Part 5. As I watched the surging wave of monsters, I gave strength to my thighs. The level 15 strength condensed at once and my feet developed a strong propulsion force. The ground rats ran from all directions and the hard horns of the growls flew from unexpected places. My skin, which was tempered by the level 15 stamina, became bruised and bloody from the growl's horns. The number 1 bookmark has been activated. Bookmark was activated and Kim Namwon's blackening wrapped around my body. I pushed away all the monsters coming from the front. Fangs burrowed into my body and a few ground rats bit my thighs. However, I didn't stop. Run and run again. Over here. Finally, the original wall was visible. I jumped over the ground rats. There was a green zone for 2 people shining. By the way, shit. Green zone 1/2. There was already someone inside. I forgot about the monsters coming from behind and stared at him. There was a guy who should never be there. Hey. He turned to me. Can't you get out? You don't even need to stay in here. It is difficult. I am tired today. I pushed to punch this asshole's face. I didn't understand. This wasn't the 3rd regression Yu Jonghyuk that I knew. In Ways of Survival, it was written that Yu Jonghyuk only found the first hidden green zone in the 4th regression. Damn, did he know about this place since the 2nd regression and it just wasn't described? Then why didn't he originally use it in the 3rd regression? Growling. There were the cries of the ground rats chasing me from behind. It was too late to blame the writer. I could feel Lee Gilyoung's breathing. I stared into Yu Jonghyuk's eyes. We spoke at almost the same time. Take the kid. Give me the child. Still, it was lucky. The constellations would hear my words. Green zone 2 halves. I moved Lee Gil-young and the mark of the green zone changed. Now Lee Gil-young was safe. Hyung. Wait a minute. Hyung. Lee Gil-young urgently tried to rush towards me, but Yoo Jong-hyuk's hand restrained him. I swung my sword towards the ground rats. The constellation Bald General of Justice has closed his eyes. The constellation demon-like Judge of Fire is watching you with uncomfortable eyes. At the last minute, Yoo Jong-hyuk's eyes seemed to move. I told you that you would die. The waves of monsters headed towards me. Now there were no more green zones remaining. I won't die. I ignored the monsters and put a hand in my pocket. In fact, I really didn't want to use this. I couldn't be assured that there would be no after effects. Now I had to believe in the fourth wall. That. Yoo Jong-hyuk's eyes shook with surprise. This bastard, did he find out? Well, I wouldn't have known this method without him. I looked down at the white stone shining in the palm of my hand. Spectre stone. It was an item I gained by hunting specters on the way to Chunmuro. Hundreds of ground rats started biting at my body. I was bleeding from minor wounds, and the shoulders struck by the Graal's horns were red with blood. As the durability of my body rapidly diminished, I put the stone into my mouth. Then something like water vapor started to emerge from my mouth. The water vapor formed a fog that covered me. The welcome prison is activated. The ground rats and Graals stopped attacking me at once. Everything around me started to distort. The platform, Yoo Jong-hyuk and Lee Gil-young calling out to me. I became a ghost. Dokja. I noticed as soon as I heard my mother's voice. This was a dream. I tried not to get caught up in it, but it wasn't easy this time. The floor sank like a quagmire and swallowed me. Due to excessive immersion, the influence of fourth wall has temporarily weakened. Scenes started to weave in front of me, no matter what I wanted. A living room covered with blood. The cold body of a man. The back of a woman looking down at the body. No. This memory was difficult to remember. I couldn't remember it. I shook my head furiously, and the scene in front of me scattered. This damn trauma. It was a memory I didn't want to see. This was why I was reluctant to eat the Spectre Stone. The Spectre Stone temporarily made the user a ghost and turned them invisible to monsters. But it has a side effect of causing the user's trauma to peak. That's why I didn't give it to the other party members. If it had been used by someone other than myself, they might have turned into a madman. I had to endure, even if my head was hurting like crazy. Certainly, the fourth wall was a scam. The skill would even be able to eat away at this stone. I wouldn't see this effect even with the superior mental barrier. Where was it? If my guess was correct, this skill. Yoo Jong-hyuk? Are you Yoo Jong-hyuk? I thought a trauma had started again, but it wasn't my voice. It wasn't a voice created by my memories. I looked back and saw a strange woman. You aren't Yoo Jong-hyuk. I think you are Korean, but who are you? A dazzling blonde foreigner. She was a little girl with a short height. The girl looked at me for a long time with an incomprehensible expression. That. I don't understand. I've seen the future a number of times, but I've never seen you before. In the girl's left eye, an ominous red swirl could be seen. The pages flashed in my head. I knew this person. No, there was absolutely no way I couldn't know her. In this case, the exclusive skill, character list is activated. The character Anna Croft is using mental barrier LV6. Character list ignores mental barrier LV6. There is too much information about this person. Character list is converted to summary list. Plus. Character summary, name, Anna Croft. Attribute, prophet, legend, savior, legend. Exclusive skills, future sight LV5, past sight LV4, insight LV8, clairvoyance LV4, advanced magic training LV4, mental barrier LV6, lie detection LV7, great demon's eyes LV1. Plus, a woman who could ignore space constraints and freely enter the consciousness of other people. A woman who saw the future and tried to design the future of the world. There was only one woman with such a way of thinking in ways of destruction. Anna Croft. How do you know me? Her eyes widened and she glared at me. I replied quietly, I'm a prophet. The character Anna Croft has triggered lie detection LV7. Lie detection has confirmed that your words are false. Indeed, I couldn't lie to a true prophet. Reveal your true identity. Who are you? Her small lips were tightly closed. It looked as though she was protesting. I anticipated how the situation would roughly occur. The woman noticed my presence, perhaps because the influence of fourth wall temporarily weakened. If fourth wall was really the skill I thought it was. By the way, it was disappointing. Do you really not know who I am? Huh? Didn't I send you the ichthyosaur's core? Anna's lips slowly widened. You must have implanted the great demon's eyes with the power of the core. Right? Then you? You asked for broken faith. Great demon's eyes. It was a huge 1 million coin item that was taken by this woman with a damn diamond sponsor. I felt envious. You. What is your name? How? The influence of the exclusive skill fourth wall is slowly returning. Why can't I see anything? Her eyes became blurred. The influence of the great demon's eyes, which could interfere with the consciousness of others, weakened and her figure gradually faded. I waved my hands. Someday we will meet. Wait across the continent. The exclusive skill fourth wall has been completely restored. Anna completely disappeared. I sighed with relief. In fact, my spirit had been fluctuating back and forth when talking to Anna Croft. It wasn't very good. Due to the skill effect, immunity to welcome prison has occurred. Damn it, the effect took place too late. I felt my consciousness clear up. The discomfort still remained, but it was much better than before. I took a deep breath and slowly exhaled. I looked at the distinct facts one by one in order to regain my rationality. I am Kim Dokja. The world was destroyed. Ways of survival had become reality. This was welcome prison. I ate the specter's stone and was a ghost for a while. If I was a ghost, I wouldn't be attacked by the underground species. Yes, that's right. So, the world looked like this. In the midst of the landscape that seemed like I had eaten drugs, the flow of time was hardly noticeable. I became a bit uneasy. What happened to you Senga, Lee Hyun-sung and Jung Hee-won? That Jong-hyuk bastard, did he kill Gil-young? Was the third scenario still in progress? What if there were still ground rats around? Were the Grals circling in order to eat me? If so, Hyung. Please. Dokja Sesai. Voices flashed through my head. The exclusive skill, permanent LV1, is activated. TL, temporary name. The skill hasn't appeared before, and there is no explanation. The Korean used for it is usually used for perm. I highly doubt that is right, so I went with permanent. I will change if I get more information later. Yes, it was time to go back. I breathed out roughly. There was a soft texture touching my cheek. Dokja Sesai. The fog faded and my vision became clear. The first thing that I saw was Yusenga's face. Lee Hyun-sung and Jung Hee-won's worried faces also appeared. The scenario? It ended Dokja Sesai. We did it. We did it. I see. we did it. I looked at the agitated party members and tried to move my body. I had remained stiff for a long time and my muscles barely listened to me. Don't be pleased. Huh? Only one day has passed. Yesterday was the third day. Lee Hyun-sung caught me as I tried to get up. Doc SSI. It isn't possible. You haven't slept at all. What time is it now? It is 8:30 a.m. 30 minutes have passed since the scenario ended. 8:30, fortunately, not too much time passed. By the way, there was a face missing. Where is Gil-young? Ah, Gil-young. Before Young Hee-won spoke, I already discovered where Young Hee-won was. Lee Jae-hai and Yoo Jong-hyuk were looking down at Lee Gil-young a few steps away. No, what was that bastard Yoo Jong-hyuk doing? At this moment, I remembered how Yoo Jong-hyuk was surprised when he saw my party. Don't tell me, when Yoo Jong-hyuk used Sage's eyes. When, you have chosen? Obvious never, before. Due to the after effects of using the stone, Yoo Jong-hyuk's voice wasn't heard properly. Then Lee Gil-young started talking. It is okay. You really won't go with me? Yes. You can become much stronger with me than with him. You still won't go? Yes. I won't. Stupid kid. Yoo Jong-hyuk frowned and looked my way. Exclusive skill, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint Stage 2 has been activated. Lucky guy. He will be helpful, so let's keep him a little longer. I wanted to say something but I had no energy in my body. Doc Jae-hyung. Once he discovered that I woke up, Lee Gil-young rushed towards me with swollen eyes. Yoo Jong-hyuk's thoughts still rang in my head. There is no time to delay. I have to finish the attack today. Otherwise. Attack? What was he talking about? I had to think. Damn, I'm too tired. As I relaxed my body, the softness of the thigh I was lying on touched my cheek again. You sang SSI, why yes. Sorry, I'm going to sleep a bit. Then I fell asleep. It was a sweet sleep without any dreams. I woke up 2 hours later. Hey, how long are you going to sleep? I opened my eyes at the loud and unpleasant voice. This time, the texture against my cheek was much thicker and harder than before. Ah, Doc SSI woke up. Smiling lips. Young Hee-won was looking down at me. You sang SSI took a break. We didn't sleep well last night. I turned my head and saw Yusanga sleeping against a wall. Young Hee-won smiled. By the way, is Lee Hyun-sung's thigh comfortable? I turned and saw Lee Hyun-sung drooling. Today in the morning, the on-call officer will conduct the duties. I thought the height of the pillow wasn't right. It turned out to be Lee Hyun-sung's thigh. It was an army pillow with a bloody smell. Doc Jae-hyung. I felt a heavy feeling on my stomach and looked down to see Lee Gil-young leaning against me and sleeping. The moment I carefully raised my body, I heard Bae-hyung's voice. Haha, you are awake? Then take this. Messages poured into my ears. The constellation demon-like Judge of Fire is sad about your trauma. The constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon is interested in your past. The constellation Secretive Plotter is wondering about your mother. The constellations have sponsored you 1,800 coins. Sons of a bitches. They were trying to steal a peek at my past. This wasn't the end. You have endured Chunmuro's night without the green zone. You have accomplished the never-ending dawn achievement at Chunmuro Station. You have earned 1,000 coins as an achievement reward. Coins possessed, 22,650 C. I had achieved the target amount. I didn't experience a hard night for nothing. This time Young Hee-won asked. What should we do today? Like yesterday, no, not today. That only works for one day. Of course, if we were lucky, then we might be able to find the randomly generated green zone. Unfortunately, there was no detailed description of the location of the green zones on day 4 and ways of survival. Then, Yong Hee-won's expression became dark. But it was unnecessary worry. Today we will completely end the third scenario. Huh? I carefully laid Lee Gil-young and got up. It wasn't originally planned, but I couldn't wait after hearing Yoo Jong-hyuk's thoughts. Yesterday, he had no choice but to buy time. However, the story was different today. I will drag out the landowners. How? Yong Hee-won asked, and I looked at Lee Hyun-sung, who was sleeping deeply. I have to use the secret weapon that I saved. Now it was time to change the owner of Chunmuro.